station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good Monday evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9. I'm Tasmin Mahfouz.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Flanagan. All right, let's head right over and get a first check in the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb.
Yeah, Janessa, at the start of the week, we got pretty lucky today, and the rest of the week won't be too bad either.
Yeah, we had severe storms earlier this afternoon. Really didn't materialize across all of the region. A few severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly confined to across I-81 into the Mountain State region. Right now, things are on the light to scattered side. Really, the big news is that severe thunderstorm watch that was issued around 2-3 o'clock this afternoon has now expired. They have left it in place areas out towards Lexington Park, but that is it. Really, the rest of the region actually is going to start to dry out after midnight. This is slightly outside of our region, but I do think that band of moisture is going to lift towards Orange into Culpeper area. It will clip that area, but nothing on the severe side. As you make your way up towards kind of the Mountain State region, this has been the zone where we saw a good amount of development earlier this afternoon into your early evening. A moderate rain flow at this time making its way out towards Martinsburg and Washington County. Here's kind of what we are dealing with until midnight tonight with this excessive rainfall outlook from Weather Prediction Center. Says all of our eastern counties will remain under a level 2 slight risk of precip. At this point, it does look like anything that we will see will be light to scattered in nature. Look at all the instability that's in the upper atmosphere. Really, the highlight area was New York City into upstate New York that dealt with a severe weather outbreak. Raleigh-Durham into the Carolinas dealing with it right now. We've kind of been in the center, so gotten very lucky. We're still awaiting the arrival of this cold front that really doesn't happen until tomorrow. It will spark up some more storms throughout your afternoon. We'll look at that forecast coming up.
Janessa, thank you. And threats of severe weather grounded flights all across the country today.
Yeah, last check, nearly 2,000 flights were canceled nationwide, more than 7,000 delayed, and that includes hundreds right here in the DMV.
Our reporter Mariel Carbone is joining us live in the studio, and you actually spent the evening at Reagan National today.
Yeah, you spoke to a lot of frustrated travelers.
Yes, I did. And you know, that is because a lot of the travelers, they really had a double whammy. First, flights were grounded at DC area airports last night due to a malfunction at an FAA tower, and then today, dozens of flights canceled or delayed due to the weather. Now, some people were stuck waiting around for hours, even days.
Okay. At Reagan Airport Monday, the flight departure board lit up in red. Flight after flight canceled or delayed.
Very stressful. You know, it throws off your whole schedule.
Yeah.
From work to family to everything else.
Marouk Hall, whose flight to Dallas was grounded, then canceled Sunday night, rebooked for Monday night.
God willing, yes. 6:59 p.m.
When asked if she was worried about severe weather impacting her flight.
What severe weather? What time? Okay, I'm just hoping that we can get off the ground before then.
As of 7 p.m., 83 flights were canceled and 222 delayed at DCA. And in the afternoon, dozens of people lined the American Airlines ticket counter to change their flights. Molly Phillip got a message from the airline to her phone,
saying that it's delayed by an hour.
Which means a late night getting back home to Memphis.
So, you know, everything is delayed, and with my grandchildren who are only 8 and 6, it's difficult for them.
She tried to remain optimistic.
It's a little stressful, but I suppose it's part of the game.
But Hall, who booked on a budget airline, vowed to only fly on major carriers from now on.
And they have just a lot more flights going in and out that they can get you on.
And not every traveler I spoke to was quite as calm as those two women. There were a lot of unhappy customers at the airport, and Chris and Tasmin, DCA wasn't alone. More than 70 flights were canceled out of Baltimore and about 40 out of Dulles as well.
Yeah, of course, Mariel, you never want to see your flight on the departure board as canceled, but you've got some pretty helpful information tonight.
Yeah, I think the first thing is just to remain calm, which we know that can be difficult to do when you're stressed out, but also it's important to know your rights. Most airlines, they will rebook you for free, but if you want to cancel, also you are entitled to a full refund. Now, airlines aren't required to rebook you with a different airline, but they can if they want to, so it's good to know what other flights may be available, and it can't hurt to ask to be put on those flights. Now, as far as accommodations, airlines are not required to provide a hotel for you to stay in, but they may. It all just depends on their company policy.
All right, Mariel, great reminders there. Thank you.
All right, meanwhile, moving on now to Arlington, Virginia, developing tonight a local community activist and school employee behind bars facing sexual assault charges. Our Max Marcilla covers Northern Virginia. He joins us tonight live in Arlington. And Max, police are still asking for tips in case this alleged assault is connected to others in the Clarendon area.
Yeah, and that's definitely concerning, though. What police did say is they were able to make this arrest based on witness interviews. So tonight, 42-year-old Julio Basurto, who is a community advocate who, especially in recent weeks and months, has pushed for school safety after recent drug overdoses. Tonight, he's in jail.
We need change.
In February, Julio Basurto led a rally outside Wakefield High School after a student died following an overdose. And 2 months ago, he spoke with DC News Now about the push for Narcan inside Arlington schools. Tonight, he's behind bars. Police say on May 21st, a woman left after a night out on Clarendon Boulevard just off of Washington Boulevard. Basurto allegedly pulled up in a black car and the woman got in. Investigators say during that car ride, Basurto sexually assaulted the woman before she was able to get out. And Basurto was not operating as a rideshare driver. He was arrested last Thursday, a month and a day after the alleged incident. It's unclear the extent of the evidence law enforcement has, though there is an element of surveillance on the block. Tonight, DC News Now has confirmed Basurto is also an hourly employee with the county's public school system, which said he provided translation when needed.
Again, Basurto charged 2 counts tonight, 1 abduction, 1 forcible sodomy. Both of those are felonies. He's due in Arlington court in August. Reporting live in the Clarendon neighborhood of Arlington, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Max, thank you. So staying in Arlington tonight, several people are behind bars accused of trying to skip paying for their metro ride. Now, this happened at the Pentagon City Metro Station. That's where Daniel Hamburg joins us live. And Daniel, it comes as Metro is really trying to crack down on fare evaders.
Well, Tasmin, it's it's impossible to go to the Metro and not see people jumping the gate. It happens all the time. Here today inside the Pentagon City Metro Station, police say 4 people tried evading the fares. 2 of them got combative with police and pepper spray was deployed. 2 of them were treated on scene for pepper spray injuries, but all 4 of them were arrested. Now, in Virginia and in Maryland, you can be fined up to $100 and in D.C. up to $50. Roughly 40,000 trips go unpaid every single weekday. That amounts to $40 million in losses for Metro every single year. Metro has plans to retrofit fare gates to make it harder for people to get through without paying. That's been deployed at Fort Totten to start with. They're still testing that out to deploy it across the system. And earlier this month in D.C., Councilmember Brooke Pinto introduced legislation which would give Metro Transit Police more authority when stopping someone for fare evasion, that if they refuse to provide their true name and ID, they can be detained and subject to a fine of up to $100 because it is not a criminal offense in D.C. Of course, this is a problem that's adding to Metro's $750 million projected deficit in just a year's time. So they are trying to figure out ways to stop this from happening. They're planning on retrofitting these fare gates over the next 15 months or so throughout the system. But people I talked with here today say this is all too common of a problem, especially here at the Pentagon City Metro Station. We'll have more for you coming up at 10 o'clock. We're live in Arlington County. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, Daniel, thank you. Meanwhile, in the district, a man is recovering after being stabbed outside a giant grocery store. It happened in D.C.'s Columbia Heights neighborhood. Now, police do not have anyone in custody at this hour. A stabbing happened late this afternoon outside the Giant on Park Road. A spokesperson for Giant tells DC News Now they're working closely with law enforcement.
And developing now, rent hikes are taking a toll on tenants struggling to keep up.
In Montgomery County, they could see some relief soon with a cap on rent hikes. Our reporter Yamari Sase joining us live tonight. Yamari spoke with some tenants who say they really need to have this happen soon.
Yeah, that's right. Some tenants told me that they saw a 20% increase in their rent just within the past year. And although this bill did get some pushback during today's meeting, renters did leave satisfied with the final decision.
Rent, transport, education, food, everything is so much money.
The bills just keep piling up, and renters in Montgomery County like Yamila and Judith Tarr are seeing rents rise by 20%.
It was traumatizing. It was traumatizing, you know, because rent, everybody, you need a roof over your head.
Laid off from her job, Tarr right now struggles to make ends meet. She got a glimpse of hope on Monday when the Planning and Housing Committee voted to cap rent hikes at 6%.
Some pressure has been taken off me, and knowing that my rent is not going to just go up, it gives us balance.
The 6% cap needs the county council's approval.
I think that we want to pass something where community members and renters feel that they have the protection needed to not only keep them housed here in Montgomery County, but to find some stability in the future years as well.
And advocacy groups like CASA say leaders are leaning in the right direction.
I think that there may be some room for improvement, but you know, we'll see when we take it up to council.
Now, some amendments will be made with that bill in terms of the vocabulary, but it will move forward to the county council. Reporting live in Maryland, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
Well, Maryland State Police are still investigating an early morning tanker truck crash that happened in I-81. Interstate through Hagerstown was shut down for hours this morning. The truck carrying hazardous cargo blew out a tire, veered off into a ditch, and spilled about 3 gallons of the material onto the road. Investigators said the truck driver from Pennsylvania was taken to the hospital for injuries, and as a precaution, several nearby businesses were told to evacuate. The driver's condition is still unknown tonight.